Hey Mason, Sherman here. Thanks for the question about business valuation. I'll make it very simple, and then it can get very complex depending on exactly what the business is. So, for example, number one is you have assets. So things that the business actually owns tangibly might be property, might be equipment. Oftentimes, though, when it comes to like office furniture, printers, electronics, laptops, desktops, those things are like pennies on the dollar. There's not a lot of value for them. When it comes to the services, so clients, oftentimes in a service-based model, unless there's recurring revenue, it's going to be hard to be able to make those one-off clients kind of sellable, if you will. So you have the assets, things that are hardcore that literally you could go out into a garage sale, or you could literally sell off. The other things are your clients, and then the overall revenue that's coming from those clients. So oftentimes, depending on the industry, there's a metric that you can use to be able to one times one for revenue, two times the recurring revenue. Like, so for example, if you're on retainer with a certain number of clients that they're going to pay you a certain amount per month, that's how you can know how to evaluate that business, or value, that business side of the cash flow that's coming in, the revenue stream. And the next one, of course, you have to subtract out any debt. So oftentimes this is a struggle for a lot of new businesses, is they feel like, hey, I'm in a good position financially, but when you start looking at their overall situation, they have too much debt on the books versus actually the revenue that's actually coming in versus and actually what they own. And so they can find themselves in a difficult situation. One of the difficulties, if you look at retail, where you're actually owning a lot of inventory, is that you have a lot of stuff on the shelves and in the back room, and that's not being sold, right? So it's literally your money is sitting in products on a shelf, either in the in the retail space or in the back room, and it needs to come out in order to get sold. And so that becomes a very big struggle. One of the best examples you get of that is actually if you read the dog Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, or Buck Knight, who started Nike. That was the struggle really for the first 10 to 12 years, was needing the inventory, selling it off, needing the capital then to go buy more inventory and then sell it off, and always going back and forth. It was a difficulty. He never had this huge windfall of money, didn't go after a ton of investors to have this inventory and then to sell it. So he definitely was a good example of how that works. And so once you have the assets, the overall revenue stream, and then minus out the expenses, that's typically your valuation. There's some different things that'll make it a little bit nicer to sell. Think of it like office space. There is a little bit of goodwill in the community where you have a name, you have a brand, and hopefully that can be helpful in giving you a higher value of the business. And then finally is there a specific kind of brand or community that's been involved that supports this organization that would make it more advantageous? So hope this is helpful. Very simple. If I can get into more details, please let me know. And it'd probably be a little bit easier on if you have a specific example in mind, then we can kind of walk through the different things that to value a business that you'd be looking at. So hope you're having a fantastic day. Any questions, anybody? Feel free to ask. Here's Appleton. Boom.